What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD mode video. So I think this is one of the final buffs that I do have to talk about before I get to the AGR. I'm not really sure if I talked about it yet, but here we are with the dreaded PPSH, and you guys already know it's a piece of shit gun in my opinion. I know, get it all out of your system. Of course, that's my opinion. Can't really knock me for saying that, but I think I finally found a way to make it decent. So as you guys know, the PPSH, as good as it can be, at least for hipfire, is a pretty shitty gun when it comes to its ADSing. And that's mainly because of the horizontal recoil. The horizontal recoil is absolute ballsack. And it's remained that way for a long time, basically since the gun got released. It was something that I did not like, and despite getting the draw, or I guess getting the legendary weapon early within, you know, that Firebird draw, where the fuck it was, I mean, it was cool, but it still wasn't really enough to motivate me to use it. However, there were times where I did try it out in like for a few matches, but at the end of the day, it still really wasn't enough for me. And that wasn't until the Season 6 update where they made a pretty tiny change to it. So the only change that they made to the PPSH was reduce the horizontal recoil by 10%. I was happy to hear that it was getting a horizontal recoil change, because that was the worst aspect of the gun, at least in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys felt the same way. So once I tested it out, I noticed that it's like, oh wow, like you barely did anything. I'll admit the change was there, but it really still felt like it wasn't enough. And I had full recoil attachments set up, and even then it still jumped like a motherfucker. You could say that the recoil pattern is very similar to the Task Force barrel on the Peacekeeper before it got its recoil buff. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys remember that. If you had Task Force barrel, and even if you had like Field Agent foregrip and like the what do you call it, the agency suppressor, it still felt very, very jumpy. Like the recoil was still bad until they changed it recently. So the PPSH got kind of like the same treatment, but maybe less to an extent. We all have that one weapon that we just cannot master no matter how hard we try to use it. And, you know, like, we seem to master most of them in the game, but there are just some that we won't touch because, you know, let's be honest, we're just pretty shit with them. And it was a weird phenomenon with me, because when the weapon first released, of course it was like meta, and people would have like the biggest speed builds in the world and not have a single ounce of recoil, and they would cross map me like instantly. And that was something I just couldn't do, and I couldn't understand why that was happening. But I was just assuming that, well, maybe it just doesn't speak to me. So in this situation, what you're seeing right now, it's like I had to force the gun to fucking like me. And it seems like I finally tamed the wild horse, so to speak, after like 5 fucking seasons. But yeah, like, better late than never, right? And it was a shame, because I always wanted to use this gun, you know, properly, but I just never had the chance to do it because it's just so jumpy. And maybe, like, I was starting to realize that maybe this was just a hipfire based weapon, kind of like how the Cordite is, or how the MAC-10 or the Fennec are, because I mean it does have pretty solid hipfire. And they even said before they released the gun that it's going to be a very close range type of thing. That's where it's going to specialize. But I didn't really think they were going to add so much horizontal recoil when it was coming out. And that's what surprised me, and that's what kind of turned me off with the weapon. To me, it was like another Pharaoh, but like full auto. So the class setup that I have here is actually very, very fragile. So like if you change anything other than just the weapon perk, it's just gonna fall apart completely. So what I have is RTC light muzzle brake, banner heavy barrel, full ammo, resilient foregrip, and 35 round fast reload. So I had to kind of like downgrade my magazine because I just want to gain a little bit more speed. That's kind of like the saving grace for this whole build. But yeah, change anything else, you're gonna get fucked up. I know there are a lot of people out there that run Vulture or something. I mean, yeah, you could just remove the weapon perk and put something else like the laser, or the MIP laser, or just the OWC laser. Either way, both of those work. But yeah, there you guys have it. That's pretty much all I have to say. There's, like I said, there's not really a lot of changes for the gun other than just the recoil, and that's for the best, like I said, because like everything else is pretty good. I mean, the ADS speed, the reload speed, all that stuff is just very, very solid. Even the ranges, I would say that the range is better than the QQ9. It has like a very, very similar fire rate. And now that I think about it, I now have 2 PPs I could pull out. PPSH and PP19 Bison. Get your mind out of the fucking gutter, kids. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe for some more COD Mobile content. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.